Good morning, everyone. So, I am here with the Indian Express newspaper, and today's date is 21st February 2025. Okay, so let's begin today's session. This is about the world. Okay, so what is happening inside the world? Every news is written in detail. So, US attacks could target individuals, say officials. Trump says he is considering limited military strike on Iran. Another news is about the Andrew, which released for now, but his royal mansion searched by police. Trump says he does not know if aliens are real. Aliens are real. Ask agency to release secret files on UFO. NASA, okay, National Aeronautics Space Agency report highest its highlights technical and leadership failure of Boeing Starliner. So this is the front page. In 6-3 rule, 6 that's 3 rule, top court says tariff power its powers with Congress, not with President. India deal on, say, Trump after Supreme Court scraps his tariff. A disgrace, says US President announced 10% global tariff. Okay. So, what Supreme Court says? Supreme Court struck down President Trump, which far-reaching global tariff on Friday, handling him stinging loss on issue of crucial to his economic agenda. Furious about the defeat, Trump said he will expose a global 10% tariff as an alternative while pressing his trade policy by other means. The new tariff would come under a law that restrict them to 150 days. Okay, it's about the new tariff which is going in the mind of Trump. Okay, it's fair deal now. We are not paying tariffs, they are paying, he said. This is the union meet where the Union Minister Ashwini Vaishnav, US Ambassador to India Sergio Gore, and other after India joined the Pax Silica initiative in New Delhi on Friday. As India enters Pax Silica, US says our coalition is stronger. Ceci Rubio will be in India soon, Ambassador Gore. About the trade deal weeks away, India to wait and watch Trump next steps. Close cooperation between government and AI firms becoming more important, said by Sam Altman. Gujarat government moves to make parent consent must in marriage. Bid violates court ruling. If any changes identity and becomes Suresh to trap girls will be taught a lesson. Trust deficit Supreme Court ordered deployment of district judge for Bengal self-intensive revision. JNU VC says victim card bought for deletes. Prompt resignation. It's resignation call. And the last one is about the great chronicler of a world and people at work in a universal language. This is the second page, and you will get detailed explanation of first page in this page. So please read it in detail. Okay, it's the full report of first page. It's a negotiation which is between Sam Altman at Express Ada. So everything is written here. Okay. About the city. After 7 years, Center reconstitutes High Power Committee under Home Sessi. Panel to unclog roads starts work February 26. Woman strangles 1-year-old nephew mentally ill, says cops. Eviction notice to 3 slum cluster near PM's residence. Resident told to leave slum by March 6. Where will we find work? We can't move 45 kilometers away. Tension palpable at Deed camp. Management education. So from classroom to boardrooms, crafting future ready managers, explore how B school are arming tomorrow. About what? About the leader with technology, savvy and ethical greed amid digital upheaval. Celebrating National Management Day. Okay. Moving from this city page because this is not important. India AI Summit. What's happening? What's the point of that summit? Okay. So the main topic which are discussed there are about the from mental health issue to cancer care. AI startups reimagine healthcare access with smart diagnostic digital tools, teledoctors. The team behind Clinic are on it's on cloud at Summit. 70 nations back Delhi. Declaration more are expected, said by Aswini Vaishnav. Microsoft to train 20 lakh teachers in AI by 2030 launch initiative in Delhi. Railway switches to AI enabled app to address grievances. Grievances means shikayat. Okay. Manage crowd better. Moving from this politics page. Inside the nation. What is happening inside the nation? First one is about the Allahabad High Court wraps police for Hindi film dialogue in FIRs. Marriage registration is Gujarat. Parental consent provision files in the face of rights and court ruling. Brick by brick, security forces move to demolished Maoist memorial in Bastar. Arbitrary armed force tribunal quashes army's 2024 MTech selections. Just a sec. So, Rahman agrees in Supreme Court to give credit for PS2 song to Junior Dagar brothers. 94.5% survival in childhood cancer, says study, flags late risk. Dozens arrested as communal Tensions escalate in Jabalpur. Government appeals for claim. High Court closes 1947 property suit involving over 2,900 acres of land in North Mumbai. Finally, we are at the editorial page. So, wordly wise, education is not the learning of fact, but the training of the mind to think. Albert Einstein. Okay, education is not mainly about the facts that you are learning. Okay, like you know that human body is made up of cells. Okay, this is not the education. Education mainly means the training of mind to think, means how your mind is trained so that you can able to think at that situation. Like if a person in an interview hall and someone give a question where the interviewer asks that if a company is facing too much loss, like from that 100 equity shares, he sold, I mean, sorry, equity shares are not sold, but the equity shareholders take their shares, okay? And the company is facing too much loss. Okay, so at that situation, what will you do? This is the training of mind, like from the standard one to graduation level, whatever the level that you are in. From that level, whatever the knowledge that you gain, how you are going to use that knowledge to think, to train your mind. It's not mainly about writing answers in the examination hall. Because if, as a topper, I will suggest, if any student who read a paragraph in a very detailed way, and if he remember any keywords like 4 to 5 keywords, and if he write all the answers with those keywords, okay, he will definitely get good marks. It's too easy to get good marks in written papers or in descriptive writing. Okay. But in real life scenario, the things are different. Whatever the knowledge that you gain, you have to show that knowledge. Okay. So this is the thought of Albert Einstein. Okay. So Pratap Bhanu Mehta, the author, and the article is about AI is wreaking enduring transformation in state capital relations. Okay, so tell me the meaning of wreaking. At the end of this article, I will tell you the meaning, okay, of all the words. Firstly, I will highlight, and after that, when we end this article, only this part, we will going to read the synonyms and antonyms of these words. Okay, so enduring transformation in state capital relations. Okay, so there are two broad theories about economic roots of the backlash against globalization. Though theories about the economic root of against globalization, we all know and we all are aware of the word globalization, interaction of all the interconnected nations of all the nations through trade. Okay, so the first thing that the author is saying about, and the familiar one, which emphasize about the conflict of loss of manufacturing jobs due to AI, rising inequality where stagnation, okay, fear of cultural displacement, and these all globalization effect produce aggregate gain, but it not compensate its loser. So the task, therefore, was political management and redistribution, rebuild, welfare states, cushion shock, and restore legitimacy. Okay, another one I had light legitimacy. Okay, there is no fundamental transformation in state capital relation. Mainly, there is no seen great or good fundamental transformations. Okay, so rather, politics fail to keep. So, uh, the main thing of the author, okay? Rather, politics fail to keep market socially embedded. Okay, embedded means जोड़ के रखना, I think. Okay, so this is the first theory, and the second theory, the author, which is more conspiratorial. It's conspiratorial and likely a competitor rather than complement, which they are arguing and which reflect the structural transformation in capitalism itself. What type of technological changes which authors are saying about that the culminating of AI has altered the interest of capital in ways that make the old globalization model less attractive. Okay, so through open liberal order has not primarily collapsed, okay, destroyed because of cultural resentment or even inequality. Those have been long standing features of capitalism. It is rather than AI requires configuration of the strategic alignment between states and capital. Okay, so the technological effect of AI, its implications for job are much discussed. What are the implications in jobs in the field of AI? Jobs and what is valuable already, okay, is the way it is altering institutional possibility globally. In the era of manufacturing, capital benefited from distribution across geographies. Firms arbitraged wage differentials, fragmented supply chain, and used the credible threat of exist to discipline both labor and government. Carboni, who suggested the states were increasingly embedded in market, where capital mobility constrained public power. Globalization was not merely an ideology, but it was grounded in a vision of production. It looks like AI may shift this calculation, but first, as is obvious frontier, AI is extraordinarily capital intensive and infrastructure dependent. It requires about the massive computing power, advanced semiconductors, energy supply, and highly specialized talent pools. The firm leading this transformation of and the firms which are leading the transformation of use advancement of semiconductors, energy supplies, and the specialized talent pools are Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Google, and no longer resemble light digital platforms. They look more like early 20th in infrastructure monopolies, vertically integrated, asset heavy, territorially anchored data center, cheap fabrication plant, and energy grid are not footloose asset. They bind firm to specific jurisdictions and regulatory regime. So the second thing which AI collapsed traditional distinction between market coordination and administrative control. In a Heikian world, price was information. In an AI driven world, information becomes price. Algorithm system can generate individualized pricing, predictive behavioral targeting, real-time assessment. Market becomes less space of decentralized discovery and more system of computational allocation. But such all the systems which are legally dependent on permissions, access to data, and the national regulatory framework. Even when algorithms are privately owned, their operation at scale requires state sanction. The possibility emerges of a deeper symbiosis. Capital extract data, the state gains surveillance capacity, consumer service infrastructure, and citizen surveillance architecture converge. The state help capital and capital help the state control its citizen. Okay. So the third theory, means the second theory for which I already read. Okay. So another one, the third theory, which the author is just trying to say, where geopolitical competition has shifted from access to market to control over technology. Industrial policy is less about reshoring old manufacturing jobs and more about commanding semiconductor supply chain, rare earth mineral, cloud infrastructure, and foundational model. The objects of competition is technological sovereignty. This is the main object which the author tells about the technological sovereignty. Exit ceases to be effective disciplining mechanism because the relation asset data center, energy system, etc. are territorially embedded. The alignment is clearest in China, where the party state has long fused political authority with strategic sector. But the shift is not unique Chinese. The US through export control, semiconductor subsidized, and national security review of technological flow, which also consolidating a nationalist framework. The language differed about the innovation, about the competitiveness, about the resilience, but the logic, structure logic is similar. Big capital, in turn, is happy with helping state gain social control. In short, it is happy aligned with authoritarianism. Okay, so two indirect pieces of evidence support these this thesis. One in populist movement, nationalism is less a redistributive program and more an ideological veneer for elite state capital coordination. To the libertarian utopian that once animated the tech sector, cryptocurrencies beyond state controls, spontaneous networked publics, the withering of hierarchy has faded. Okay, so the control, the concentration, and surveillance and strategic rivalry. Even the countries which is told about the India and much of Europe, the challenges of distinctive. The issue is not simply regulatory architecture of redistributive corrections. It is whether domestic capital and state capital, its state capacity can combine at sufficient scale to compete within these new techno nationalist complex. Okay, so it is a degree to which state and large firms can fuse around infrastructure, data, energy, and defense. This also means that it is very likely that techno nationalism, which address inequalities, if capital concentration increase and within if the risk of financial instability, the potential for an even deeper blacklist remain, while the complex seek to answer the problem of meaning by giving it technology the grand veneer of saving national civilization. The social ramifications of AI are far too uncertain to suggest that it can be remotely address the crisis of meaning that supposedly animated the populist backlash. So, the interpretation certainly overstate the coercion of this transformation. Traditional institutions and market will continue to exist. Labor still matter about the global interdependence has not vanished, yet it is difficult to ignore the sign. The return of territorial nationalism, the erosion of the public private distinction, the convergence of civilian and military technologies, and declining relevance of exist as source of discipline. The backlash on this view is less on populist revolt from below than a technology driven realignment. Okay, so these all are the transformations in the state capital relation it has already brought out about. Okay, finally, from moving another page, sexual abuse of children a rare POSCO verdict. Suspended junior engineer wife get death sentence in UP. PM Modi with Brazil President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva during the India AI Summit at Bharat Mandapam in New Delhi. Trade defense on table as Modi meet Lula today. 62-year-old's death. One dead witnesses says SDM men attacked for no reason. Official admit conduct suspicious. We are at the economy page. So, pact with the US will come into effect even before the trade agreement with UK. European Union USTR agreed to visit India next month, deal to take effect in April as our steel production doubles and is slated to double from 140 to 300 meter in next 5 to 6 years. Huge investment almost rupees 10 lakh crore are in the pipeline in steel industry. Oil prices surged to 6-month high. US Iran conflict could impact global AI supply with stakes for India. RBI bulletins, State of the Economy article, Corporate Investment Plan, rise over 9% flow of resources to commercial sector up. Net foreign direct investment negative to December 2 amid record high repatriation by foreign investors. US negotiating with India on Venezuelan oil sale, Sergio Gore. Tesla unveils cheaper Cybertruck to spur demand. Explanation page. Economics, where despite top quote blow, US trade drama far from over. Skyrocketing tariff venue, potential refund after US top court ruling. Who pays who paid for tariff? Mostly US consumers. High Court ruling uproar put glare on older, narrower definition of rape. Why India chose to be an observer in Trump's Board of Peace. 5 years from now, many everyday AI tasks may run locally on devices. Okay, so thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe.